So it appears that Ruth Ginsburg is alive after all. She gave a interview on the 2nd of July where she talked about Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who's obviously been appointed to the Supreme Court, and what a positive thing his appointment was. You know, he had a full female staff behind him, and she saw that as another notch for women's liberation. And so there's Ruth Ginsburg, alive and kicking. But then it turns out this interview had actually taken place in October 2018. It was being rehashed. The way the media reported it as if it was happening yesterday, was a hoax. It was a hoax. You know, I still believe firmly that Ruth Ginsburg died 7 months ago, and the Democrats decided to resurrect her in order to prevent Donald Trump getting another Supreme Court appointment. But what it really intrigues me is just how committed the media are to maintaining the hoax of her still being alive. I mean, the next item on the news was the climate change hoax. You know, they go on as if there really is global warming taking place, that there really is man-made climate change. Now, I've got 2 qualifications in meteorology, and I know that mankind can no more affect the global temperature than they can affect the direction of the wind. The whole climate change agenda is a complete and total hoax. Man cannot change the global climate. It doesn't matter what he does. The climate of the world is controlled by cycles, by the carbon cycle and the nitrogen cycle and the oxygen cycle and the water cycle. And any irregularities in these cycles are ironed out through the process. It doesn't matter what man does, we will not affect it. It's far too big for us anyway. I mean, it's not a closed system. They use this term greenhouse gases, but there's no greenhouse. There's no ceiling around the Earth. The Earth interacts with the rest of the universe. Everything is kept in balance. And that's not anything to do with us. This is how nature works. It's working on a completely different scale from mankind. Our impact on the global climate is literally a drop of water in the ocean. And this is the truth. The global climate is controlled by air pressure. Can mankind affect the air pressure? No. It's controlled by ocean currents. Can we in any way affect ocean currents? No. It's ultimately dictated by solar activity. Can mankind affect in any way the activities of the sun? No. So it's absolutely absurd. And the amount of attention this is given is beyond belief. It's just a complete hoax. And of course we have the hoax, the Russian hoax, that somehow Russia engineered the American presidential election to get Donald Trump in the White House. That is just ridiculous. Donald Trump went head to head with Hillary Clinton and beat her in the debates, in the strategy, in his personal appeal. It was a political victory. It was nothing to do with Russia. Again, it's just a complete hoax. You know, and we're seeing in the whole debate about Britain reclaiming its sovereignty from the European Union and becoming an independent nation on the world stage again, which would be an incredibly positive thing for this country and an incredible opportunity to revamp and develop our economy and break out of the regulations and the strangleholds of the EU, to lower our taxes and free our businesses. This is what the EU is scared of. But this amazing opportunity that Britain is going to be presented with is presented through the veil of Project Fear. We're just, the media constantly wants us to have a terror of leaving the EU, as if all our security and all our prosperity and all our hope is invested in the EU. It's totally bogus. The EU is becoming a dictatorship. It's, do people realise that the Brussels bureaucracy are the worst people to control your country? I mean, it's so totally inefficient and very, very expensive. And it brings down our industrial performance, our economic performance. As regards access to the markets, you can sell your goods wherever you want. I mean, a slight tariff, it's the quality of your goods and the quality of your services which matters. Any tariff can be overcome very easily. I mean, this Project Fear is a complete and utter hoax. So you're watching the news, and it's just hoax after hoax. And now we're going ahead to the 2020 presidential election, and suddenly we've got the Trump hoax. That Trump is somehow imploding, that he's a failure, that things are going wrong for him every single day. Now, we've had this since 2015, when he first announced he was going to stand for president. Every single day, the liberal media have tried to bring him down, have portrayed him in a negative light. But the reality is, Trump has been a phenomenal success. I mean, we're told if Trump got elected, the stock market would crash. But the reality is, the stock market has gone through the roof. We were told if Trump gets elected, there would be chaos in the White House and there would be a third world war. The truth is, we've had a prolonged period of peace. Trump has proven himself to be an incredibly successful president, and he's going to win re-election. I'm very confident about that. But the media, they don't portray it like that. They portray the exact opposite. So the mainstream media is just one hoax after another. And the real problems we face in the West, the growth of Islam in our societies and the threat of their takeover, in a sense, the fake news has become a problem as well. Everyone is being deceived by this. Many of our cities now, the native population is being dispossessed and replaced. And we're not allowed to debate these issues. These are the important issues. What is happening to the population of our country? What about Britishness? Don't we want to maintain our British identity and our British culture and a future for British children? But these aren't issues which are tackled in the mainstream media. These issues are just totally ignored. We need some reality. Everything is a hoax now. And the only place you'll find any reality is either nationalist politicians or on YouTube, commentators on YouTube. And we're looking at this issue of anti-Semitism, as if somehow the far right are responsible for anti-Semitism in Europe, an increase in attacks on Jewish people, this negativity, this hostility and criticism of Jewish people. No, it's coming from Islamic radicals, it's coming from the left and the Corbynistas with their sort of fixation with the Palestinian issue. And so the Jewish people are under attack in Europe, but it's not coming from the far right. It's coming from the immigrants and the far left. And it's got to be portrayed in a realistic way. If we don't portray the issues our countries face in a realistic way, we won't be able to resolve these issues. There's so much confusion out there. There's so much sort of disorientation because people are looking in the wrong place to get information. Do not trust the mainstream media. Donald Trump is quite right. It is fake news. Ignore it. Go to alternative sources of information. Listen to national patriotic politicians. Patriotic politicians are denigrated constantly in the mainstream media. They're our hope. We want people to stand up for our people and our nations. And we've really got to correct this imbalance in the media in our society, in this whole narrative that we're being fed about reality. We're being fed an illusion, a very disturbing and destructive illusion. We need voices which speak into reality. Now, all these bans on social media, all its control of social media is about stopping us seeing things as they really are. They've locked us into an illusion. We need to break that illusion.